My last video was called "And Great Evil Shall Cover the Land." And I got a response to that. And the person was asking me if I thought that it was all right for Christians or Muslims to kill Christians and not Christians to kill Muslims. And if the Christian had no right to defend themselves. And I think my comments were taken a little bit out of context. I may have sounded angry, and at that time I was. Because anybody who carries the name Christian is representing who I am. And when you have a mob who has branded Christians going around and hacking with machetes an 8-month-old child and a 16-year-old girl, then it does raise some ire in me. I do not condone the killing of innocent people in any case. I do say that you have a right to defend yourself as long as you're defending what you want to keep. If you are not defending what you want to keep, what's the good anyway? And the material things that I have, somebody can come in and carry them out right now, and I would not say a word to them because they're just material things. As a matter of fact, the Bible says, as far as my life goes, it's not my own. I was bought with a price. And the Apostle Paul, in one of his letters, said that it was his desire to go. It was his desire to be part of the kingdom. And he always wanted to be there instead of here. So when it comes to defending against a rabid mob, be they Christian or Muslim, I don't see where the question comes up. Because for me to leave here would be gain. And certainly the scriptures are abundant in the subject of Christian martyrdom in the Old Testament, in the New Testament, and in this day and age. There are going to be those who are beheaded, who are going to be martyred, who are going to shed their blood for the testimony of Christ. Now, Jesus had a perfect opportunity to defend himself. But he knew he had a purpose. He knew there was a higher calling on his life. And so he submitted himself and subjected himself to what anyone would say he didn't deserve, he didn't have coming. He was innocence personified, and yet he was beaten, he was mutilated, and he was disgraced by being spit in the face for somebody else's wrongdoing. Peter took a sword out and struck the ear off of Malchus, the high priest's servant. Jesus rebuked him and said, "Put that back, because whosoever shall live by the sword shall die by the sword." And he also talks about, or the New Testament also talks about Jesus and his disciples passing a Samaritan village. And the Samaritans let them know in no uncertain terms they didn't want them there. And Peter looked at Jesus and he said, "Call down the fire from heaven to destroy them." Jesus, turning to him, said, "Ye know not what spirit ye are of." Now, one thing about Christianity, or the word Christianity, is it's easy to roll off the tongue. It's harder to live the life. A life of subjection, a life of grace, a life of mercy, and a life of obedience to Christ. That does not include running around in groups with knives, kicking men to death and then hacking them to pieces and letting them lay alongside the road. I do not see how that glorifies God at all. And I do not see why or how it glorifies our purpose for being here. These men were nothing but a wolf pack. They were not defending their homes. They were out looking to murder people. There's a big difference. When you have soldier facing soldier, you have valiant man facing valiant man. But when you have a mob mentality, then Christianity or even Islam is out the window. I have never been able to understand Islam, and I will not be able to understand it, how they can kill their own people just to be killing. Christians hopefully do not do that. If we have a disagreement, we part ways praising and singing to God. But still in all, a 16-year-old girl is not a threat to me, and certainly an 8-month-old baby is not. The man that I read about fell off of a truck that was fleeing his town from the Christian mob. He fell off and they caught him. And there were 10 or 20 people standing there while 3 or 4 kicked him to death. And then it said that he was hacked by machetes and left alongside the road. Now that is what I'm standing against. I rebuke that. That is evil. That the destroyer, and it has no place in our testimony. God bless you. God keep you. I want to thank you for your prayers. I was feeling kind of fluish yesterday. There seems to be a contradiction between my immune system and the bacteria that the Philippines seems to possess. I get the fever a lot. But I appreciate your prayers. I appreciate my wife for putting down that message, requesting prayer. And I'd like to say God bless you all. And never misunderstand the difference between revenge, which belongs to the Lord, and defending yourself and your right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Maranatha.